They seduce. They scheme. They burn down the world with a smile. Some villains want chaos. These women, they want control, with stilettos sharper than daggers and eyes colder than justice. These femme fatales don't just steal scenes, they redefine them. They're not your damsels, they're your downfall. From deadly elegance to raw firepower, these are the villains who made you root for the wrong side and love every second of it. She's sleek, she's synthetic, and she's absolutely savage. Kristanna Loken's TX is the first female Terminator, and she doesn't walk. She glides with lethal grace and cold ambition. Designed to terminate other Terminators, the TX blends beauty with brutality in a way the franchise hadn't seen before, or why it's timeless. While Terminator 3 may not top the franchise in storytelling, Loken's icy performance left a mark. TX is emotionless but seductive, a symbol of technological terror wearing the perfect disguise, human perfection. The red leather suit, instantly iconic. Loken trained for months in martial arts, weapons handling, and robotic movement to capture the eerily fluid stiffness of a machine designed to mimic human behavior. James Cameron wasn't involved, but he later praised her portrayal as visually flawless. Awards or recognition, though the film earned mixed reviews, Loken won Best Villainess at the MTV Movie Awards Mexico and remains a sci-fi icon in villain fashion and design. Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman didn't just purr. She prowled, flipped, whipped, and owned the shadows. As Selina Kyle, she was overlooked and dismissed. As Catwoman, she became a storm in latex. Why it's timeless, this wasn't a sidekick. This was seduction with claws. Pfeiffer's Catwoman was fierce, tragic, and completely untamed. She didn't want to win. She wanted to survive, and she made it look like ballet. Pfeiffer trained in whip cracking, did most of her own stunts, and wore a stitched vinyl suit so tight she could only stay in it for short bursts. Scene where she puts a live bird in her mouth? Real. One take. No CGI. Batman Returns was nominated for 2 Academy Awards and helped cement Catwoman as one of the most iconic villains and sex symbols in cinema. Pfeiffer's portrayal is still the benchmark. She's curious. She's gentle. She's learning until she isn't. In Ex Machina, Alicia Vikander plays Ava, a humanoid AI whose soft voice and knowing eyes mask something chilling beneath. She doesn't shout, she doesn't chase. She just calculates and outsmarts everyone in the room. Why it's timeless, Ava is the ultimate subversion of the male gaze. Designed to be pleasing, she uses every expectation against her creators. By the time you realize you're trapped in her game, she's already gone. Vikander performed with motion capture sensors and minimal prosthetics, allowing for real-time interaction with sets and actors. Director Alex Garland insisted on casting a trained dancer to give Ava movements that were almost human. Ex Machina won the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects. Vikander's performance earned critical acclaim, launching her into global stardom and establishing Ava as one of the smartest villains in sci-fi history. She crosses her legs and the world forgets how to breathe. In Basic Instinct, Sharon Stone plays Catherine Tramell, a brilliant crime novelist and the prime suspect in a brutal murder. But she's not hiding, she's inviting the spotlight and daring you to blink first. Why it's timeless, Catherine Tramell turned interrogation into seduction and made power look effortless. She controls every room, every man, every narrative. She's not the femme fatale, she's the blueprint. Stone wasn't the studio's first choice, but director Paul Verhoeven fought for her. That interrogation scene, she claimed she wasn't told what would be revealed until after the take. Whether intentional or not, the result became instantly iconic and controversial. Awards or recognition, Stone was nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Actress. The film itself was a lightning rod, and Tramell remains one of the most referenced and feared characters in erotic thrillers. She's death, and she's never looked so divine. In Thor Ragnarok, Cate Blanchett's Hela storms the screen like a goth goddess of war. As Odin's firstborn and the true heir to Asgard, she's not just a villain, she's royalty reclaiming what was stolen. Why it's timeless, Hela is a scene stealer in a film bursting with spectacle. She breaks Mjolnir like it's glass, struts in black leather like it's armor, and delivers every line like a blade. Her power isn't just physical, it's regal, ruthless, and personal. Blanchett performed most of her own fight choreography and insisted on building Hela as more than a CGI tyrant. Her costume, inspired by Norse myth and high fashion, took months to design. balancing elegance with fearsome asymmetry. Thor: Ragnarok was a box office triumph and won the Saturn Award for Best Comic-to-Film Motion Picture. Blanchett's performance was singled out by critics as a high point of the MCU's villain roster. She's not missing, she's planning. Gone Girl flips the crime thriller on its head, and at its center is Amy Dunn, beautiful, brilliant, and terrifyingly controlled. Rosamund Pike turns the cool girl monologue into a manifesto and leaves blood and expectations in her wake. Why it's timeless, Amy isn't just a villain. She's a commentary on marriage, media, perfection. You want to hate her, but you can't look away. She doesn't want justice, she wants the narrative, and she wins it. Director David Fincher shot the film with his signature precision, requiring over 30 takes per scene. Pike prepared by reading Gillian Flynn's novel daily and consulting criminal psychologists. That blood scene in the bed, done practically on set in one night. She nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress. Rosamund Pike won the Empire Award for Best Actress and several Critics Awards. Amy Dunn remains one of the most complex female antagonists of the last decade. She doesn't kill for duty, she kills for pleasure. Bellatrix Lestrange, Voldemort's most loyal follower, doesn't hide in the shadows. She dances in them. Wild, devoted, and deliciously unhinged, Helena Bonham Carter turns Bellatrix into a gothic tempest of chaos. Why it's timeless, in a universe filled with dark wizards, Bellatrix stands apart. Her cackle, her sneer, her violent elegance. She's unpredictable and unforgettable. Every appearance crackles with danger and dark charisma. Bonham Carter joined the franchise in the fifth film and immediately redefined the character. That wand flick, that scream after killing Sirius Black, all improvised. She studied psychiatric case files to craft Bellatrix's psychotic edge, and the film earned BAFTA and Saturn Award nominations. Bonham Carter's performance became a fan favorite, turning Bellatrix into one of the most iconic female villains in fantasy cinema. She can be anyone, and still, she chooses to be dangerous. As Mystique, Jennifer Lawrence plays a shapeshifter torn between identity and rebellion. Equal parts spy, survivor, and seductress, she turns every transformation into a weapon, and every glance into a dare. Why it's timeless, Mystique represents more than mutation. She represents control over one's image, power over perception. She isn't just hiding in plain sight, she's winning in it. Lawrence endured 8 hours of makeup daily for full-body blue prosthetics, later reduced to digital effects in sequels. She studied movement with dancers to make each transformation feel fluid and animalistic. The film received critical acclaim and multiple Saturn Award nominations. Lawrence's version of Mystique became a cornerstone of the rebooted X-Men timeline, earning her a Teen Choice Award for Sci-Fi Fantasy Actress. If you're loving this list of dangerous beauties, hit subscribe because Power This Seductive deserves a sequel. She witnessed her family's murder as a child, became an assassin by adolescence, and by adulthood, she ruled the Tokyo underworld with a blade sharp enough to cut silence. Oh, Renishi isn't just cool, she's ice. And when she walks into battle in snow-draped gardens, you realize elegance is deadly. Why it's timeless, Oren's story is a mini-movie within Kill Bill. Her anime backstory, precise swordsmanship, and clash with the bride create a cinematic trifecta of beauty, vengeance, and discipline. She doesn't talk much, but when she does, it's final. Lucy Liu trained in martial arts and samurai technique, performing much of the sword choreography herself. Tarantino wrote the role specifically for her after seeing her in Shanghai Noon. The set for her final scene was built inside a soundstage and flooded with real snow. Kill Bill was nominated for multiple Saturn Awards. Oren became an instant pop culture icon, her white kimono and bloodied katana forever etched in cinematic memory. She doesn't just kill, she crushes. Zena On is a Georgian assassin who derives visible pleasure from murder, often using her thighs as the weapon. In GoldenEye, she doesn't just seduce James Bond, she overwhelms him with a gleeful brutality that redefined Bond girls forever. Why it's timeless, Zena On isn't a background beauty. She's a full-blown predator, unapologetic, unforgettable, and so over the top she became legendary. The name, the scream, the look, everything about her is burned into 90s cinema history. Famke Janssen trained in stunt work to do most of her own action scenes, including the infamous sauna fight with Pierce Brosnan, which took days to choreograph. Director Martin Campbell leaned into dark comedy to make her both terrifying and magnetic. GoldenEye rebooted the Bond franchise with style and critical acclaim. Janssen Xenia earned her MTV Movie Award nominations and the lasting title of one of the most iconic Bond villains of all time. Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn brought DC's chaotic queen to live action with baseball bats, hot pants, and psychotic poetry. She's unpredictable, unfiltered, and oddly romantic in the most deranged way possible. Why it's timeless, Robbie's Harley redefined comic book villainy. She's dangerous and broken, but also funny, vulnerable, and oddly loyal. You don't root against her, you root with her as she burns everything down. Margot Robbie did most of her own stunts, including aerial silks and the infamous elevator fight. Her performance was so strong it led to a franchise pivot, giving Harley her own film, Birds of Prey, and spin-off arcs beyond the Joker. In Suicide Squad won an Oscar for Best Makeup and Hairstyling. Robbie's Harley became a Halloween phenomenon, a cosplay staple, and earned her Critics' Choice and Teen Choice nominations. She doesn't carry a gun, she doesn't wield a sword, but make no mistake, Regina George is a villain, the kind who destroys you with compliments and ruins reputations over salad. Mean Girls introduced us to the ultimate high school apex predator, and Rachel McAdams gave her teeth. Regina is pretty, polished, and perfectly vicious, and she doesn't raise her voice. She lowers yours. Why it's timeless? Regina George is a pop culture institution. Her lines, her looks, her power plays, they still echo through teenage culture 2 decades later. She weaponized kindness and rebranded cruelty as confidence. Production insight, McAdams was 25 when she played the 17-year-old Queen Bee, and she nailed every nuance. Tina Fey based much of the script on the nonfiction book Queen Bees and Wannabes, and McAdams worked with a vocal coach to pitch her voice younger and sweeter, more dangerous. Awards or recognition, Rachel McAdams won 3 Teen Choice Awards for her role. Mean Girls became a cultural classic, spawning a Broadway musical, endless memes, and the unofficial holiday October 3rd. Up next, 8th to 6th, where villains get glamorous, global, and even mythic. Ready to keep going? She builds, she heals, she kills. Lady Iboshi is not your typical villain, she's a visionary. In Princess Mononoke, she runs Iron Town, protects lepers, empowers women, and is slowly destroying the natural world in the process. Iboshi isn't evil, she's determined. And in that complexity lies her danger. Why it's timeless. Unlike most villains, Lady Iboshi believes she's doing good, and sometimes she is. That moral ambiguity makes her unforgettable. She's bold, modern, and deeply human. Her fight isn't against the hero, it's against the idea that progress must come at a cost. Director Hayao Miyazaki based Iboshi on Industrial Revolution figures who believed in better futures, even if they broke everything to build them. In the English dub, Minnie Driver was chosen for her calm, intelligent tone, to make Iboshi's actions feel both rational and terrifying. Princess Mononoke won the Japan Academy Prize for Picture of the Year and remains one of Studio Ghibli's most revered works. Lady Iboshi is still studied as a masterclass in layered villainy. She doesn't scream, she doesn't chase, she whispers, and worlds rearrange themselves. Miranda Priestley, the queen of high fashion and quiet contempt, is a villain you can't stop watching. Cold, impeccable, and played with surgical precision by Meryl Streep. Why it's timeless, Miranda made fashion terrifying and brilliant. She's powerful because she never explains, never begs, never apologizes. She simply expects, and the world delivers. Street-based Miranda on actual fashion icons with a dash of Clint Eastwood, and rewrote much of her own dialogue to tone down the shouting and lean into icy stillness. That cerulean monologue, all hers. Nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress, won a Golden Globe. The film became a global hit, and Priestley one of cinema's most quoted and feared bosses. She drinks wine and knows things, but mostly she destroys things. Cersei Lannister is regal poison, a mother, a monarch, a mastermind. Played with chilling elegance by Lena Headey, Cersei manipulates, seduces, and annihilates anyone who stands in her way. And she does it all with a goblet in hand and barely a raised eyebrow. Why it's timeless, Cersei represents the slow burn of ambition. Her rise wasn't built on swords, it was built on secrets. She outlives lovers, enemies, even her own children. And when she finally takes the throne, it's not a victory. It's a warning. Headey wasn't HBO's first choice. She auditioned late and rewrote the role into one of the show's most commanding presences. Many of her best moments like the silent shame walk and her smirk before the sept explosion, were improvised or refined in silence without dialogue, nominated 5 times for a Primetime Emmy. One of the most iconic characters in modern television, her death sparked debate, but her reign are legendary. Remember to subscribe for more iconic countdowns, unforgettable villains, and the stories behind cinema's most powerful women. She was betrayed, and she did what fairy tales don't expect. She didn't just curse a princess, she became the star of the story. Angelina Jolie's Maleficent reimagines the classic villain as a fallen protector turned dark queen. Wings torn, heart broken, power rising. This isn't Sleeping Beauty's tale anymore. Why, it's timeless. Maleficent blends the regal and the ruthless. She commands forests, conjures storms, and stares down kings without raising her voice. She's beautiful, terrifying, and, in the end, perhaps the only honest person in the kingdom. Jolie was involved in every detail, from costume to horn design. Her daughter played young Aurora in one scene because other children were too scared to approach her in full costume. The wings were created using CGI mapped from stunt work and motion capture. Nominated for an Academy Award for Best Costume Design, the film grossed over $750 million worldwide and cemented Jolie's version of Maleficent as a dark icon for a new generation. She turned a world into winter just because she could. Tilda Swinton's White Witch isn't loud, she whispers, smiles, and commands armies of wolves and frost giants with the calm of a tyrant who knows no one can stop her. She doesn't tempt with fire, she tempts with comfort, power, sweet Turkish delight, and the silence of eternal snow. Why, it's timeless. She's the epitome of cold beauty and quiet destruction. Every appearance feels like a prophecy, and every child she speaks to, you fear they'll fall under her spell. Swinton studied totalitarian leaders and mythic femme fatales to create her version of the witch. Her costumes were designed to evolve from flowing to armored as her power grew, a visual metaphor for control turning to war. Awards or recognition, the film won the Academy Award for Best Makeup. Swinton's icy performance remains a fan favorite and earned her an Empire Award for Best Actress. She's 17, she wears a school uniform, and she carries a meteor hammer like it's a toy. Gogo Yubari doesn't need many lines. She makes her point with a laugh, a chain, and a slow, smiling death stare. In Kill Bill Vol. 1, she doesn't just challenge the bride, she becomes her most unforgettable opponent. Why, it's timeless. Gogo's schoolgirl aesthetic is a subversion of innocence, and Tarantino knew it. She's brutal, agile, and sadistic, a villain so vivid she lives rent-free in every Kill Bill fan's mind. Chiaki Kuriyama trained for weeks to master the meteor hammer, a real weapon that takes years to perfect. Tarantino cast her after seeing her in the Japanese horror film Battle Royale. Her fight scene took 6 days to shoot. While Gogo didn't win individual awards, Kill Bill received Saturn Awards and instant cult status. Kuriyama's performance became a breakout role and inspired countless cosplay, tributes, and character homages. These women didn't just wear the title of villain, they rewrote what it means. From shapeshifters to silent killers, seductresses to sovereigns, they proved that the most dangerous person in the room is the one smiling. Subscribe for more cinematic power plays, villain spotlights, and countdowns that never play nice. We'll see you in the shadows.